Hello, everyone. This is Zami Eccles-Irwin from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the director of the Oregon Screams Horror Film Festival. Right now, we are gearing up for our fall event, which is going to take place on October 17th at the beautiful historic Clinton Street Theater in Portland, Oregon. It's going to be a day of networking, photos, awards, and of course, lots and lots of screenings. And in order to get ready for that, we are talking with some of our participating filmmakers. So today I'm talking with Nolan Sternkopf, the writer, director, and producer behind the film Bad Crop. Nolan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So before we talk about Bad Crop, I want to shout out the fact that you're actually a film festival circuit alum. About 2 years ago, you directed a film called Fire Hill, and that was an award winner. And it's great that you're back with a new incredible film. And Bad Crop is phenomenal. And I just want
Thank
to
you.
know what inspired this film.
Yeah, so I'd been wanting to make like a really Halloween imbued film, something that's just kind of like really flourishes in the Halloween mythos for a long time. And last fall, I was kind of like, oh, I need to make something. I need to make something. I just come off like a year post production on my most recent short, and I really wanted to get back on set. And I just had the itch, and October was coming up really quick, so I decided, okay, I'll finally make like a proper Halloween film. And after some kind of brainstorming, I kind of landed on this idea of really using jack-o'-lanterns in this kind of creepy way, where it's almost like a spreading virus, and that worked itself into a story that I liked, and then from there, we just kind of made it happen through late October and early November.
I love that. And you know it's cool because the aesthetic of this film, I think like the way it's shot and the type of scenes you use, it's very evocative of 70s 80s slasher.
Mm.
But then I think it's kind of cool that viral aspect of it, or the sort of I don't know, that supernatural element of how the jack o' lantern spread. I think gives it kind of a fresh touch, and it all came together really well.
Thank you.
Um, I'm wondering, what was it like? What was the shooting process like? It's a lot of outdoors, which can be difficult. What was
Yeah.
that like?
So it wasn't too terrible because we were in pretty controlled environments for the most part. I was fortunate enough to get to use my parents' property for all the like outside of the house scenes. The pumpkin patch though is an actual pumpkin patch, and that was a really exciting filming location for us, but it was also the one we had the least control over because
Hmm.
it was a fully operational pumpkin patch, like only a week away from Halloween at that
Oh wow.
point. So it was we tried to go like during a slow day, during a slow time, but it was still like there was people around, and it made recording audio very difficult.
Oh,
Um,
totally.
but we were able to get everything we needed and use all of our on location audio for that scene. I can't say the same for some other scenes. There was some ADR work through a lot of the other film, but weirdly enough, the pumpkin patch where we had the most like noise pollution was the audio that we actually were able to use all of, which was kind of cool.
It's so funny how that works sometimes. The one production audio thinks not going to work is the one that actually works, and I mean,
Exactly.
I guess that goes to show in independent film production, you just have to expect absolutely anything can either
Mm.
go right or go wrong, and kind of swiftly try and navigate that. I wanted to ask, I think one thing that's really core with kind of this type of film, especially from like the 70s and 80s and 90s, is the practical effects. And obviously, it's kind of I felt like it was a callback to a lot of films. The scene with the shotgun going off, and then of course the pumpkin face explosion, and that was such an awesome moment. Can you tell me what it was like to film that?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We we filmed kind of everything around that on location with a prop gun, and did the fun throwing pumpkin guts in our actress's Erin's face and all that stuff. Um, and but for the actual like gunshot and head explosion, we shot those on a totally different night, and basically just like on one end we used like a fuse and black powder inside of the barrel of the prop gun, so it lit up all brilliant and it looked like way more over the top than a real muzzle
Right.
flash would, but that's kind of like what we wanted.
Awesome.
and makes for quite a spectacle. And that was really cool. And then for the pumpkin side, we just exploded a pumpkin head and did that in a couple tries. And actually, that shot is two different, like, I guess, bursts cut together into one.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and it ended up making it kind of more of a fuller, the full face
Oh,
of the jack o' lantern exploding out. But it's
oh,
technically
interesting.
two
Okay, I mean
shots.
that's a kind of a great behind the scenes thing because you would never know that you would do that or could do that, but it looks super smooth, looks great. It's big. It's one of those classic movie blasts, so it was
Yeah,
cool to see. And so I'm curious. You've worked on quite a few films, it seems, over the years. What did you learn from this process? Did you take any new insights on the craft?
I did. Yeah, actually, this I'm so used to, like, so many of my projects take close to a year between shooting and final finished thing. Um, and the film I'd done right before this specifically took like a year and a half, like longest I had ever done. And this ended up coming together really quickly though, because I shot it um, in fall and I wanted it done basically like January of the next year.
Oh wow,
So
okay, quick turnaround.
yeah, just a few months turnaround, and it was not as bad of an undertaking as I thought to get that to all happen so quickly, and it was kind of a new experience for me to really like get it shot really quickly. I think we shot the whole thing in 3 or 4 days, um, in relatively short shoot windows on each of those days, and then yeah, and then just like really nail into the editing and as quick as possible get it out where it's not rushed, but it still feels polished, but it doesn't have to sit in post production for months and months and months. And that was really nice to have. It was a grind, but it was really nice to have a film turn around that quickly and turn out well. So that was kind
Totally.
of a new experience for me and one that I think will serve me well moving forward, learning a new kind of pace I can go at in post production.
Absolutely. I mean, you know this, but I can't mention how many people I've talked to who have tons of projects lingering in limbo that they
Hmm.
want to finish, but they also want to move on to the next idea. So, getting down to that ability where you can just focus on it and get it out there when it's ready, and now you're done. Now you can move on to the next thing.
Exactly.
And that brings me to kind of my last question here. What are you working on now? I'm sure you have something.
So I've been kind of like back and forth on what I want to do next for a while now, and I've decided pretty firmly, at least currently, pretty firmly, that I want to go ahead and start pre-production on a feature film now, which is something I wanted to do for a while, and I kept pushing it back and pushing it back. But now I'm feeling like, all right, I'm going all in on the feature. So that is the next project. The idea I have in mind right now is going to be kind of a Western horror.
Oh,
Uh,
sick.
I'd say biggest influence on it being like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 kind of thing. So
The fun one.
that's where we're going. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well that's great. I mean, I've seen Fire Hill. You got your comedic timing and practical effects down. I saw this one that's brought a new level of kind of polish and a real movie level of quality to it. So I think the feature is the time is now. I think you've developed your skills and it's really ready. How far into this production are you? Are you still just working on the idea, or have you acquired some cast and crew?
Very, very early stages, still just working
Okay.
on the idea. So yeah, I might be kind of like jumping the shark here as far as what I'm saying. But yeah, working on the idea. I do have a couple people in mind for characters that I like working with. One of them being Joe Colin, who is in Bad Crop.
Okay.
So yeah, but we'll see what happens. The future could bring some turns, but that's the current plan.
That's exciting. Well, I would love to see that. No, I have to
Thank you.
also shout out your poster art is always so cool.
Yes, I'm
Who
glad
does
you
that?
brought that up. That's Skylar Smith. She does the posters for really all my films, and her work is incredible. And you can find her on social media. On Instagram, she's at Skylartist, like
Okay,
Skylar mixed with artist.
right
Um,
on.
yeah, she does amazing movie posters, and she doesn't just do them for me. She'll do them for other people too. So if you're a filmmaker and you're like, I need a really killer poster, please reach out to her. You will
That's
not be
awesome.
disappointed.
Well, I can picture your feature coming out with another great poster and
Heck yeah.
just a great fun time. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Bad Crop?
I'm just excited for people to see it. Yeah, we're ready to show it off, and I think October is going to be the perfect time for it. So, thanks for
Excellent.
giving us the opportunity to screen it at the Great Clinton Street Theater. I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for submitting another great film. I know people are going to love it on October 17th at the Oregon Screams Horror Film Festival. It's got that Pacific Northwest flavor. It's got one of the best use of jack-o'-lanterns, which is a neglected kind of trope and aesthetic in horror movies.
I
And
agree.
yeah, I can't wait to see more from you, man.
Thanks so
Thank you
much.
so much.
You have
Take
a good
care.
one.